Hello everybody, you are watching the Cardboard Dungeons review of the Rebel Transport Huge Ship Expansion for Fantasy Flight's X-Wing Miniatures game. My name is Pat, and I am off script today. Sorry about that, but I want to get this review out before Gen Con, and I'm pushing right up against deadline to move into packing and getting on the road mode. So, this does mean that the Corellian Corvette review is going to be delayed after Gen Con, and you might actually see an Imperial Raider review from us before that one. But it is coming, so patience. Now, let's talk about this Rebel Transport expansion. First of all, I do have to point out that this expansion has an X-Wing miniature included, as well as some new pilots for that ship and 3 copies of Flechette Torpedo. I covered all of that content in a separate video a while back, so if you're interested in that, go check that video out. I'm not going to talk about that anymore, but that is included with this expansion. So, let's take a look at the maneuver dial for this ship. One thing you're going to notice about maneuver dials for huge ships is that they are not very interesting. Huge ships, because of the template that they use to move, are capable of only 8 different maneuvers. Not every huge ship is going to have access to all 8 of them, but those maneuvers are straight forward at speeds 1 through 4, and then banking turns at speeds 1 and 2. They have no hard turns. They, of course, don't have K turns, and Segnor's loop is right out. As you see on the dial here, this ship has all of those maneuvers, and you'll see the energy icons as well on some of them. That means that when they execute that maneuver, they gain energy. So the slower the ship moves, the more energy it's going to gain. So it's beneficial to move these ships around pretty slowly to get energy to be able to activate different actions and abilities that they have. Okay, moving on to the ship card. The Rebel Transport has only 1 card. This ship costs 30 points and has a pilot skill of 3. As I said, it has no way to make an attack, so in the place of the normal attack value, it has its energy limit, which is 4. This is the total number of energy tokens that the ship can have at any time. Then we see it has an agility value of 0, which is going to be typical for huge ships in the game. Not very evasive. But they will be able to roll defense dice following the normal rules, so if they're being attacked at long range or through obstacles, they'll get 1 or more defense dice. And you see the ship has a hull value of 8 and shield value of 4, which seems really low. It's actually less total health than the Millennium Falcon and the Decimator. It's on par with the large ships in the game. But, as we're about to see, huge ships have ways to really recover shields fast and mitigate a lot of damage. So, to that end, let's move right into the action bar. 4 brand new actions that are specific to huge ships so far and probably will stay that way. The first of these is called Recover. This action lets you spend all of your energy tokens to recover that many shields. So as we saw, the ship has an energy limit of 4 and a shield value of 4. That means that it is possible to recover all of its shields with 1 action. So very cool. Next up, we have the Reinforce action. This puts a Reinforce token on the ship, on one section of the ship, either the fore or the aft. And then during the combat phase, whenever that section gets attacked, it's going to add 1 evade result to the defense dice. And unlike evade tokens, this stays on for the whole combat, so it's going to work multiple times if that section gets fired on more than once. Next, we have the Coordinate ability. And this is a support ability. You can choose a friendly ship at ranges 1 to 2 and let it take a free action. And then we have the Jam ability. This is a control ability. It lets you choose an enemy ship at ranges 1 or 2 and give it stress tokens until it has a total of 2 stress tokens on it. Alright, and looking down at the upgrade bar, we see the familiar crew upgrade type. It can carry 2 of those. And then we see a brand new upgrade type called Cargo, and this ship can carry 3 of those. And we are going to move right into talking about those upgrade cards now. This expansion comes with a whole pile of them. Starting with the crew, we have the WED-15 Repair Droid. This is a huge ship-only upgrade. Costs 2 points. As an action, you can spend an energy to discard 1 of your face-down damage cards, or spend 3 energy to discard a face-up damage card. A very powerful way to get rid of damage, and again, another one of those damage mitigation abilities I was talking about. And this will work on any huge ship, not just the Rebel Transport. Okay, next we have Torrin Farr. She is a unique, huge ship only, rebel only crew. As an action, you can spend any amount of energy and choose that many enemy ships at ranges 1 and 2. And remove all focus, evade, and blue target lock tokens from those ships. She costs 6 points. That's a lot of points, but this is a super, super powerful ability. Especially against guys like Sunter Fell, who rely on having focus and evade tokens almost all the time. Taking everything away, every beneficial token, just like that, is going to make them extremely vulnerable. And you can do it to as many as 4 enemy ships if you have 4 energy when you take this action. So very cool, very powerful. Okay, Carlist Rican, another huge ship only, rebel only crew, costs 3 points. At the start of the activation phase, you can discard this card and treat every friendly ship on the board as having a pilot skill of 12 until the end of the phase. So that's amazing. In a real pinch, you can pop this card when you need to shoot first with every one of your ships on the board. And depending on how many shots you have, that could really turn the tide of an entire game. So very amazing. All right, next up we have Jan Dodana, another huge ship only, rebel only, unique crew. He costs 6 points. And when another friendly ship at range 1 of his ship is attacking, it can change a normal hit result to a critical hit result. So that's pretty cool as well. And that's all of the crew upgrades. Now we're going to get into the new cargo upgrade type, starting with expanded cargo hold. This is a GR75 transport only. Costs 1 point. And once per round, when you would be dealt a face-up damage card, you can draw that card from either the fore or aft damage deck. So that's pretty cool. Next we have TIBANNA gas supplies. This is a limited card, which means the ship can have only one of these. It costs 4 points. And during the energy phase, which happens after the ships gain energy, after they make their maneuver, you can discard this card and gain 3 energy. So very cool if you're in a real pinch and you need some fast energy. Maybe you move too far and you're only going to gain 1 energy or no energy. Discard this card, get 3 energy, good to go. Comms Booster costs 4 points, lets you spend 1 energy to remove all stress tokens from a friendly ship at ranges 1 to 3, and then give that ship a focus token. Frequency Jammer is a limited cargo upgrade, costing 4 points, and this one works in conjunction with the Jam action. So when you choose that action, you also choose an enemy ship that doesn't have any stress tokens and at range 1 of the ship that you jammed, and that ship gets 1 stress token as well. So a way to spread extra stress onto nearby ships when you jam an enemy ship. Alright, Backup Shield Generator, another limited cargo upgrade costing 3 points. At the end of each round, you can spend 1 energy to recover 1 shield. So here we have a ongoing, pretty inexpensive way to bring your shields up by 1 each round. Kind of like the way R2-D2 works on small ships by giving them a shield when they do a green maneuver. This is going to give a shield for spending an energy at the end of a round. So very cool there. I don't see why you wouldn't pretty much always have this on a huge ship. Next we have Engine Booster, a limited card costing 3 points. Now, I mentioned in the overview for huge ships cannot use modifications unless they say huge ship only on them. So that means you can't put engine upgrade on these ships, which would be kind of silly. But this kind of works like engine upgrade. So before you reveal your maneuver dial, you can spend 1 energy and execute a white straight 1 speed maneuver. You can't do it if you would overlap another ship. Of course, the huge ships destroy any small and large ships that they overlap. So that would be kind of like cheating if you could do that and ram into an enemy ship before it could get out of the way or something like that. Alright, EM Emitter is a limited cargo upgrade costing 3 points. When your ship obstructs an attack, the defender rolls 3 additional defense dice instead of 1. So if you can do some good positioning and force enemy ships to fire through your huge ship at other targets they want to destroy, you're going to boost those ships' defense greatly. Shield Projector costs 4 points. When an enemy ship becomes the active ship during combat, you can spend 3 energy to force that ship to attack you. if it can. So you got to be in firing arc until the end of the phase. So another support ability, if you don't want them shooting at other friendly ships, force them to shoot at your huge ship instead. And Slicer Tools, this is a action that costs 7 points to equip onto it. And this is the card that I was talking about earlier. This is how the transport has a way to deal direct damage. So you can choose one or more enemy ships at ranges 1 to 3 that have stress tokens, or at least one stress token. And for each enemy ship chosen that way, you can spend 1 energy and cause the ship to suffer 1 damage. So working along with the jam action and the card that we saw that let you spread stress to more than 1 ship. So you're going to have stress ships around the Rebel transport a lot, and then you can use this action to deal damage to them. And that is uncounterable damage, so they don't get a defense roll or anything, they just take 1 damage. So very powerful, very cool and tricky card to use. Okay, and finally for the upgrades, we have Combat Retrofit, costing 10 points. This is a GR75 only, huge ship only, and it's a modification. This increases your hull value by 2 and your shield value by 1. So for 10 points, 2 extra hull and 1 shield seems costed pretty well. Just makes the ship more resilient. Very nice. Okay, and finally we have 3 title cards for the GR75. Bright Hope costs 5 points, and this is GR75 only in title. Like I said, all of these are. This increases your energy limit by 2. That's what the +2 in purple means. So instead of 4, you'll have an energy limit of 6 when you're flying the Bright Hope. And reinforcement tokens assigned to your 4 section add 2 evade results instead of the normal 1. So this is very cool. If you point your ship toward oncoming enemy ships and use reinforce, you're going to be tougher to deal damage to when they're shooting at your 4 section. Okay, Quantum Storm costs 4 points, raises your energy limit by 1, and at the start of the end phase, if you have 1 or fewer energy tokens, you gain 1 energy token. And lastly, Duty Free, costing 2 points, doesn't give you any extra energy, but when you perform a jam action, you can choose an enemy ship at ranges 1 to 3 instead of 1 to 2. So if this is probably the title you're going to want if you're going to go a route where you're going to put all those boosts to jamming and the slicer tools and stuff on the ship and make it a ship that is going to be doing some damage out there. Okay, so that is the Rebel Transport expansion pack for X-Wing. Hope you've enjoyed this look at what you get out of the expansion. I hope it was helpful to you. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I would love to hear them. I respond to all comments, or at least I try to. Be sure to follow us on Twitter. We are at CB Dungeon. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.